And yes, I was the reason we were late, but it was thanks to a very long train. So business is being done across Illinois, hopefully in Illinois soon. So thank you. My name is Martin McLaughlin. Good morning, everyone. I am a state representative from the 52nd District. I live in Barrington area. Like many Illinois taxpayers, I watched in complete dismay as the House Democrats passed a inflation economy pay raise to politicians, twice the rate of inflation, nearly 17%. We shouldn't support giveaways to politicians while Illinois families suffer under record high inflation, high energy prices, high food costs, and now, as we've heard this morning, the threat of higher income taxes under new proposals from the Democrats. I can't help but mention the governor in his inaugural address did state that due to his flowery forecasts on our budget that we were able to provide temporary tax relief and perhaps in his speech he said maybe even permanent tax relief. This current proposal flies into the face of those comments. I think it would be inappropriate not to, as an outside businessman, recognize the budgeting process is completely broken here in Springfield. Setting and adhering to a revenue estimate is not only constitutionally required, but it's also the critical first step to responsible budgeting. Unfortunately, the Illinois House Democrats have repeatedly failed in this standing practice. Adopting and adhering to revenue estimates provide the General Assembly and those that rely upon us, advocates, community leaders, local governments, and residents, a framework for what to expect during a budget negotiation. It also makes it more difficult once you state publicly what your revenue estimate is for the majority party to sneak in last-minute revenue and budget changes in the final hours of session. Among other tax reform proposals that you will hear from us today, we urge House Democrats to create and adhere to this revenue estimate for state budgeting purposes. Receiving a 3,000-plus page budget in the wee hours of the morning with no public input, no ability to review what's in, and no public hearing is really not a way to run government efficiently. We need to change that. It doesn't have to be this way, and other states surrounding us with actual rosy financial forecasts are doing it in a much better way. Public review, public hearings, requiring transparency. These should be the minimal standards, and having enough time to review a budget prior to voting on it. Many of the reform proposals we discussed seem like common sense, and frankly, they're very primary business principles. Don't spend less than you bring in. I know that sounds radical here in Springfield, but it should be what everybody does at their kitchen table on a monthly basis. Prioritize your spending based on shared priorities, working with the other side of the aisle. And then monitor your spending to ensure that the costs don't outpace revenues. Not really a radical idea to families that are trying to make ends meet. With more common sense adopting these kinds of good government reform measures, we can make real progress addressing Illinois' fiscal challenges and restoring trust with taxpayers and job creators and businesses that we need to attract more than ever to grow our revenue base in Illinois.